Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. We've got so much news to get through today, guys. Lots of posts from our favorite Anon, lots of tips that have been dropped. We've got information on Prince Andrew. He's stepping away from the royal duties. We've got information on the National Security Council. Some big things have come up regarding that. Now, the NSC is exactly what is embroiled in this entire Trump impeachment scam. Also, it looks like President Trump was right. The Ukrainian prosecutor general has just indicted and arrested the head of Burisma Holdings in Ukraine. The Democrats must be really, really scared at this point. Also, it looks like the Clinton Foundation donations have plunged for a third year in a row. And as our favorite Anon said in a post yesterday, pay to play only works when you have power. Also, it looks like we were meant to trust Ray for a very particular reason, because the FBI is now seeking an interview with the Clowns in America whistle leaker, a person whose name we can't say. So we've got all of this and more, and we'll be right back after a quick word from my sponsor. The new Patriot Brother X2020 flashlight model is here, and with all the common threats nowadays to our freedom, especially with riots occurring across the globe, California threatening to shut down the power grid from electricity overload, and illegal immigrants flooding into our country, the future of America is not promised, and neither is your safety. One of the best things you can invest in for your home protection is a Patriot Brother flashlight, and why not purchase one of the best flashlights on the market? The Patriot Brother X2020 flashlight. The holidays are quickly approaching, and that is why Patriot Flashlight wants to extend a special 25% Patriot discount to all customers through the month of November for Black Friday. Patriot Flashlight is the perfect gift for you and your loved ones this holiday season. Supply is limited, and this is the very last chance to get 25% off the new 2020 model before they sell out. Take advantage now and give you and your family the gift of night protection. Please visit www.patriotflashlight.com. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. First of all, today we are going to start off with the post that came out after I finished my video yesterday. So, post 3604, our favorite Anon called out the impeachment scam back in February 2019, months before public awareness. This is another proof. Back on February 11th, it says, Step 4, open new fake and false investigations as chairman of the House Intel Committee to retain disinformation campaign designed to keep liberal Americans on board to regain power and prevent prosecution. Executive time. Now, also added to the post, pre-public awareness like clockwork. D 1 through 6, enjoy the show. Now, D could mean Democrat, could mean December 1st through the 6th. Is some heavy stuff coming out? Well, based on today's news, I'm starting to lean towards the idea that this is a date right here. Now, here back in February, we had a clear prediction that the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee was going to be running a disinformation campaign designed to keep the liberals and the Democrats on board. And that's exactly what's happening right now. If you watched the hearing this morning, Adam Schiff laid out what was essentially a disinformation campaign, trying to say that President Trump was doing this or that, when clearly it is not the way that he's portraying it. President Trump was interested in no quid pro quo. He was only interested in having justice served. Now, post 3605, the Clinton Foundation has lost $49.6 million since 2016. And it says pay for play only works when you hold a position of power. It's only a matter of time, meaning that the downfall of the Clintons is preordained. Let's go ahead and look at the article talking about the losses they have sustained. All right, Clinton Foundation donations plunge for the third year in a row. They've lost over $30 million since the 2016 defeat. Donations to the Clinton Foundation have plummeted since Hillary Clinton's failed presidential campaign, according to newly released tax records. The records indicate that the organization has reported net losses of over $16 million for the last 2 years in a row. The Free Beacon reports that the foundation reported total revenue of just $30.7 million, including $24.2 million worth of grants and contributions, a record low for the alleged charity. That figure was well short of the foundation's total expenses for the year, which were $47.5 million, resulting in a net loss of $16.8 million. The previous year, the Clinton Foundation reported a net loss of $16.1 million. In total, the organization has lost a staggering $32.9 million since Hillary Clinton's lifelong quest for the presidency crumbled to dust in November of 2016. The organization was raking in big bucks, unsurprisingly, during Clinton's time as Secretary of State from 2009 to 2013, as well as during her run in 2016. The Clinton Foundation posted its highest revenue haul, $249 million, in 2009, the year Hillary was sworn in as President Barry Obama's Secretary of State. By 2013, the foundation had reported an additional $392.2 million in revenue and went on to raise $344.4 million between 2014 and 2016, the Beacon notes. Now, in 2016, then Republican Representative Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, who was the vice chairman of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, told the Daily Caller that reports have shown that the Clinton Foundation has failed to accurately report tens of millions of dollars in foreign government grants, including some while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. This should be troubling to all Americans, as it gives the appearance that there could be a pay-to-play arrangement between the Clintons and foreign governments while the interests of the American people were pushed aside. The tax-exempt status of the foundation should be reviewed immediately, Blackburn said at that time. And pay-to-play is exactly what you were looking at. It's no mistake the fact that Hillary Clinton was in a position of power and the foundation was raking in hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, with Hillary Clinton having absolutely no power whatsoever except being the de facto leader of the resistance, the money has simply dried up. No one wants to give money to Hillary Clinton because she can no longer fulfill the same types of promises that she was fulfilling before. So now companies, countries, millionaires with money to blow are just not giving to the Clinton Foundation. And they're also not receiving the same level of grants that they were before because there's absolutely nothing that people can be given back if they are to donate to Hillary Clinton and Bill and Chelsea. Now, I think that spells financial ruin not only for the Clinton Foundation, but also for the Clintons themselves. We do know that they get a lot of money from their appearances, but I think that their lavish lifestyles were kept afloat by the fact that they were taking in and failing to report properly these hundreds of millions of dollars. It's been said before that Bill Clinton used the Clinton Foundation as a personal piggy bank. I do believe that this is not the last we've heard about the Clinton Foundation. Keep your eyes and your ears open. And next post, 3606, there is no step 5, end. This means that this is the absolute last play in the Democrats' playbook. I said this a long time ago. We needed to get to impeachment. The Democrats needed to expend every single play in their playbook, and impeachment was the last one. This is it, guys. There's nothing left after this. The Democrats are going down along with all of the coup plotters, whether they be left or right. All right, and next in post 3607, Ukraine MPs demand Trump and Zelensky investigate U.S.-Ukraine corruption involving $7.4 billion. And now it says, what happens when the public discovers the truth, magnitude, regarding D-party corruption? What happens when the public discovers the truth regarding fake news, coordination with the Democratic Party to conceal, shelter, and protect those criminally responsible? Define projection, the Great Awakening, sheep no more. Where we go one, we go all. Guys, people are waking up. It was absolutely necessary to have everything play out in the way that it has so that it became very clear to not just us, but the rest of the American public exactly how deep and far the corruption ran. And it wasn't just in politics, it was in the media as well. Let's go and take a look at the tweet thread from Methods that is breaking this down. All right, and Methods has the post embedded right here, and he takes us to a segment from the document. Let's take a look at that. From Interfax, it is highlighted here, the son of Templeton's founder, John Templeton Jr., was one of President Obama's major campaign donors. Another fund-related character is Thomas Donnellan, managing director of BlackRock Investment Institute, shareholder of Franklin Templeton Investments, which has the largest share in the fund. It is noteworthy that he previously was Obama's national security advisor. So what this is here from Interfax, apparently last week the Prosecutor General's office put out a notice that absolutely was completely ignored by the media. And it announced suspicion on the owner of Burisma, the ex-ecology minister Zlochevsky, someone we've spoken about here on this program on many occasions. Now, according to the suspicion, the Yanukovych family is suspected in particular with legalizing laundering of criminally obtained income through who? Franklin Templeton Investments. And it has to do with billions of dollars, guys. So the people that are laundering money are the Ukrainians, along with the corrupt Democrats, and specifically Barry Obama's former national security advisor. So this is huge, and it takes us right into our next story. Now, before we go there, the National Security Advisor is on the National Security Council. The National Security Council is where this claim of a quid pro quo, bribery, obstruction of justice is coming regarding President Trump, and it's the whole reason for this sham impeachment inquiry that's taking place right now. Let's go look at some reporting. Now, with regard to the notice that was put out by the Prosecutor General's office on the 14th, it looks like today they decided to take action. And President Trump was right. The head of Burisma Holdings has been arrested in Ukraine. And there are claims that Hunter Biden and his partners were paid $16.5 million. Reality strikes at the Democrat show trial. The head of Burisma Holdings was indicted today in Ukraine, and Ukrainian Prosecutor General indicted Burisma owner Nikolai Zlochevsky. The claim alleges that Hunter Biden and his partners received $16.5 million for their services. Vice President Joe Biden's son Hunter took a lucrative post on the Burisma board in 2014, and Hunter Biden was making millions from the corrupt Ukrainian oil and gas company. New memos released earlier this month reveal Burisma Holdings, Hunter Biden's Ukrainian natural gas company, pressured the Barry Obama State Department to help end the corruption investigation during the 2016 election cycle, just 1 month before then Vice President Joe Biden forced Ukraine to fire Viktor Shokin, who was the prosecutor probing his son Hunter. Joe Biden bragged about getting Viktor Shokin fired during a 2018 speech to the Council on Foreign Relations, and the media immediately covered for Biden and said his targeting of Mr. Shokin was totally unrelated to the prosecutor's corruption investigation into Hunter and Burisma Holdings. Of course it was. Burisma Holdings actually name-dropped Hunter Biden when requesting help from the State Department. According to CD Media last week, former Ukrainian official Alexander Onishenko said Hunter Biden was receiving off-the-books payments from Burisma in the millions. Now, today on Wednesday, the chief of Burisma Holdings was indicted in Ukraine. Absolutely incredible. This is justice playing out, guys. And this right here is exactly what the Democrats and the people on the National Security Council, the holdovers from the Barry administration, the people who are accusing President Trump of wrongdoing, this is what they were trying to stave off. However slowly the wheels of justice turn, they do not stop, and they have firmly landed on the Burisma people and on the Bidens. Bidens are coming up next. All right, so what exactly is so damning in that indictment against the head of Burisma? Well, it revealed that Hunter Biden was receiving his payments from money that was raised by criminal means. It was siphoned and laundered out of Ukraine. The head of Burisma Holdings was indicted on November 14th, but it wasn't reported until today. The Office of the Prosecutor General in Ukraine indicted Nikolai Zlochevsky. Now, that indictment is damning and revealed Hunter Biden's income under his contract with Burisma is a link that reveals how money is siphoned out of Ukraine. Now, this is via TASS.com. The Ukrainian Office of the Prosecutor General has drawn up an indictment against the owner of Burisma Holdings Energy Company, ex-ecology minister Nikolai Zlochevsky, and that contains information that the son of former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, as a Burisma board member, along with his partners, received $16.5 million for their services. Ukrainian Verkhovna Rada MP from the ruling Servant of the Party, Alexander Dubinsky, told a press conference on Wednesday, citing this investigation investigation's materials. Now, according to him, the money came from duplicitous criminal activity. According to the politician, the son of Vice President Joe Biden was receiving payment for his services with money raised through criminal means and money laundering. He also clarified that Biden received money that did not come from the company's successful operation, but rather from money stolen from the citizens of Ukraine. Dubinsky stressed that the information on Hunter Biden's income under his contract with Burisma is a link that reveals how money is siphoned from Ukraine. Ukrainian MP Alexander Dubinsky said in a presser on Wednesday that he will reveal information about a pyramid scheme created in Ukraine using stolen funds, moved offshore, and bought Ukrainian public bonds, turning them into Ukrainian sovereign debt. Joe Biden's son Hunter was sitting on the board of Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian natural gas company, and being paid by some accounts over $200,000 a month, even though he had zero experience in the field. Then Vice President Joe Biden, who was tasked to oversee U.S. dealings in Ukraine, threatened to withhold over $1 billion in loan guarantees to Ukraine unless they fired Viktor Shokin, the Ukrainian prosecutor general investigating Burisma and Hunter. And last month, Ukrainian MP Andrei Derkach said during a press conference that Joe Biden was personally paid $900,000 for lobbying activities from Burisma Holdings. Joe Biden was paid because he was able to get that prosecutor removed and allowed Burisma to continue their criminal enterprise. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden both profited off the stealing of money from the citizens of Ukraine. An absolutely criminal act. If you thought that this was maybe not going anywhere before, then now there is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind. This right here is without a doubt a criminal act, and the Bidens are squarely in the crosshairs. You guys, this is what the Democrats have been trying to keep us from learning. It wasn't just that there was some quid pro quo or nepotism taking place in the Ukraine. This is clearly a fleecing of the Ukrainian public, and the Bidens are at the tip of it. Not only them, but the Democrats, many other Democrats, and people on the former president's National Security Council. Now to post 3608, all assets, F&D, foreign and domestic, being deployed. Some who once supported POTUS, sleepers, will turn, puppets and puppet masters. So clearly people who appeared to be supporters of the president previously are now going to turn on him because they smell blood in the water and they are being directed to do so. Control of narrative equals control of public opinion. Control of public opinion equals power. Everything is at stake. Old guard power structure being destroyed. Washington civil war, control the narrative. Prevent exposure of truth. Self-preservation, fighting for survival, information warfare. These people are in the last days of the fight, and they realize that it does not look good for them. They are doing everything they can to try and survive, but unfortunately, it's not going to work. The old guard is being destroyed, and there is a civil war happening in Washington, D.C. between the good and the evil, the cabal and the alliance. This is not going to turn out well for you guys, and if you are one of those people that's looking to turn on POTUS, I highly suggest you take another look because it is not going to turn out the way they are telling you. You would do much better to just submit yourself to the draining of the swamp. If you cannot support the president, get out. If you cannot support the president, do not act against him. Now, on to the bit of news about Prince Andrew. It looks like he's going to be stepping back from royal duties for the foreseeable future, and it's all related to his relationship with Jeffrey E. Let's go ahead and take a look at this official statement from the Royal Palace. Now, this is a statement from His Royal Highness the Duke of York. I believe that is Prince Andrew. It's become clear to me over the last few days that the circumstances relating to my former association with Jeffrey E. has become a major disruption to my family's work and the valuable work going on in the many organizations and charities that I am proud to support. Therefore, I have asked Her Majesty if I may step back from public duties for the foreseeable future, and she has given her permission. I continue to unequivocally regret my ill-judged association with Jeffrey E. His suicide has left many unanswered questions, particularly for his victims, and I deeply sympathize with everyone who has been affected and wants some form of closure. I can only hope that in time they will be able to rebuild their lives. Of course, I am willing to help any appropriate law enforcement agency with their investigations if required. Very telling communication here from Prince Andrew. he knows that there is absolutely no way that he can avoid the investigation into this, this man that he used to have a pretty close relationship with. I'd be very interested to see if now that he's stepping away from the royal duties, if he is going to be required to speak to the FBI, because it's obvious that they want to talk to him. Now, it was suggested yesterday by my mom, actually, that perhaps the royal family would be willing to sacrifice Prince Andrew as kind of a sacrificial lamb to put this whole fire out and just get rid of it and make it go away. Just put everything on the head of Andrew and make him to blame for everything. At this point, the evidence is pretty stark. It's obvious that he had quite the relationship with Jeffrey. It's obvious that he must have been involved with certain things that took place there due to his presence there in the Manhattan brownstone that Jeffrey occupied. And I'm sure that other evidence such as first-hand witness accounts and photographic evidence is not helping his case either. So I'm really looking forward to the day when Prince Andrew is questioned by the FBI and perhaps, I guess, maybe in the presence of Interpol as well, seeing as how this is an international crime. Now, today's impeachment inquiry began with the testimony of Gordon Sondland, the ambassador to the EU, and Methods was able to capture something that really quantifies the essence of his testimony in an epic mic drop from Representative Mike Turner. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Let me tell you right now, because is Donald Trump your friend?
No, we're not friends.
Okay. Do you like the president?
Yes.
Okay. Well, after you testified, Chairman Schiff ran out and gave a press conference and said he gets to impeach the President of the United States because of your testimony. And if you pull up CNN today, right now, their banner says Sondland ties Trump to withholding aid. Is that your testimony today, Ambassador Sondland, that you have evidence that Donald Trump tied the investigations to the aid? Because I don't think you're saying that.
I've said repeatedly, Congressman, I was presuming. I also said that President Trump...
So no one told you, not just the president. Giuliani didn't tell you, Mulvaney didn't tell you, nobody, Pompeo didn't tell you, nobody else on this planet told you that Donald Trump was tying aid to these investigations. Is that correct?
I think I already testified.
No, answer the question. Is it correct? No one on this planet told you that Donald Trump was tying this aid to the investigations? Because if your answer is yes, then the chairman's wrong and the headline on CNN is wrong. No one on this planet told you that President Trump was tying aid to investigations. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, you really have no testimony today that ties President Trump to a scheme to withhold aid from Ukraine in exchange for these investigations.
Other than my own presumption.
Which is nothing. I mean, that's what I don't understand. So you know what hearsay evidence is, Ambassador? Hearsay is when I testify what someone else told me. Do you know what made-up testimony is? Made-up testimony is when I just presume it. I mean, you're just assuming all of these things, and then you're giving them the evidence that they're running out and doing press conferences, and CNN's headline is saying that you're saying the President of the United States should be impeached because he tied aid to investigations, and you don't know that, correct?
I never said the President of the United States should be impeached.
Nope, but you did. You have left people with the confusing impression that you were giving testimony that you did not. You do not have any evidence that the President of the United States was tied to withholding aid from Ukraine in exchange for investigations. I yield back.
Information warfare. This is how they do it, through confusion and obfuscation. Gordon Sondland has no evidence to state that the president was tying these two things together. He said he presumed it. He said it on numerous occasions, but he hasn't come out and said that he doesn't have any evidence until right now. The reason he doesn't have any evidence is because there is no evidence that exists. The Democrats are in the last throes of their death rattle. This is not going to go on for much longer, and once it's over, so are they. All right, and finally, guys, we were told to trust Ray, and it looks like there was a good reason for that, because the FBI is now seeking an interview with the Clowns in America whistle leaker. Please excuse the censorship. Now, the FBI is seeking an interview with Clowns in America snitch EC, over some of the issues raised in his August whistleblower complaint about Trump's July 25th phone call to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The FBI recently sought to question the Clowns in America whistleblower who filed a complaint over President Trump's July 25th Ukraine call, a move that came after a vigorous internal debate within the Bureau over how to respond to some of the issues raised by the complaint's allegations and whether they needed to be more thoroughly investigated, according to sources familiar with the matter. An FBI agent in the Washington field office in October reached out to one of the lawyers representing the whistleblower and asked to question the Clowns in America analyst who triggered the congressional inquiry into the president's conduct, one of the sources said. But no interview has yet to be scheduled. It is unclear what the intended scope of the interview would be or whether the whistleblower's lawyers will even agree to it. Mark Zaid, one of the lawyers for the whistleblower, said he and his co-counsel would have no comment. An FBI spokesperson also declined to comment. EC is a 33-year-old Clowns in America officer who was planted inside the White House by ex-Clowns in America chief John Brennan to spy on Trump and thwart the Spygate investigation being conducted by U.S. Attorney from Connecticut John Durham. EC was not on Trump's July 25th call with Zelensky, yet he filed a whistleblower complaint based on hearsay from a source. We now know his primary source was Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. Vindman publicly testified Tuesday and crumbled under questioning from ranking member of the House Intel Committee Devin Nunes when asked about who he spoke to about Trump's call with Zelensky. Nunes got Vindman to admit he was the source of the leak of Trump's July 25th phone call to an official in the Intel community, who he refused to name because Schiff interjected to protect the whistleblower. EC is not a whistleblower. He is a Clowns in America leaker and a political hack with an agenda to remove Trump from office. And he is part of the Democrats' final play in their bid to remove President Donald Trump from office. But guess what, guys? It is not going to work. I am so happy to finally be at this moment and see their world crumbling around them, quite literally. All right, and we're going to end today with two new posts that came up while I was in the midst of recording this video. Post 3609 is titled, Treaty with Ukraine on Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters. And our favorite Anon says, these people are stupid. Let's go take a look. And here it is in black and white, the Treaty with Ukraine on Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters. That means that we are required to work with each other as countries in terms of criminal cases, such as the one involving Hunter Biden and Burisma Energy. The Democrats don't seem to realize that this is the case, and in shirking his duties as president, President Trump would have done so if he would have ignored this legal treaty. By talking to President Zelensky about the situation with the Bidens and Burisma, he was upholding this treaty that was signed on November 10th of 1999. And finally, last post of the day, at least for this video, post 3610, control of narrative equals control of public opinion. Control of public opinion equals power. How do you control the narrative? Information warfare. This is clearly spelling out exactly what the media, the mainstream media, the social media companies, and the Democrats are involved with. Information warfare is what they have used to control us for centuries. And now that we're in the digital age, we are finally at a point at where we can beat them at their own game. Now, included in this post from our favorite Anon is a Twitter profile, and it's a post from Fiddler Forest. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this tweet is telling us. And it says, Breaking News Live just got their account suspended after posting this story. Breaking news, head of the Ukrainian Burisma gas company indicted, Hunter Biden named accepting millions more from slush fund. And then Twitter suspended them. Do you guys have any reservations about the idea that Twitter, the mainstream media, social media companies, they are all working together in concert with the Democrats? This right here is clear-cut evidence. It's proof that they are working hand in glove with the Democrats to attempt to control public opinion. Well, guess what, guys? It is not working any longer. People are wise to what they're doing. Well, what can I say? The president was right, and so were we. Our favorite Anon confirming that everything that's led up to this point has been according to plan. You guys, it is time to celebrate because these people are not going to be around for much longer. Absolutely incredible day. So excited to bring you this news. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless. Hey guys, it's Red Pill. I just wanted to say one more thing. Thank you very much to all my patrons. Thank you to everyone who supports this channel. If anyone wants to help out, there are links in the description of this video below. Please make sure to subscribe to my backup channels in case anything happens here. I will begin publishing there. And if you guys have any questions or tips for me, please send me an email at redpill78@protonmail.com. Also, don't forget to make sure that you have notifications turned on for this channel. When you go to my channel page, there is a little bell. Click that bell and choose all notifications. And if you don't have one already, go sign up on Twitter and follow me there and make sure that your notifications are on. Because even if you don't get a notification from YouTube, I always have a notification that goes out on my Twitter page that lets you know every time I put out a new video. I look forward to reading your messages. I look forward to getting the news to you on a daily basis, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next episode.